Welcome, everyone, to the Sales Genius Podcast and the War Games Group. I'm your host, Joe Ingram. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of video marketing with none other than Ruben, the visionary behind Dub, the platform that's empowering businesses, to amplify sales, which we love, right, through personalized video messages with a client roster that reads like a who's who of the business world and a best-selling book under his belt, right? That's inspiring marketers everywhere. Ruben is here to share how video is dominating the internet and how you can leverage it to skyrocket your sales, ultimately taking your business to the next level. From unleashing your creativity to mastering the upsell and leading remote teams, this episode is packed with insights you will not want to miss. So let's dive in and get ourselves started.
Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games Group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the assistance from the most successful producers across all industries. We then share their knowledge and techniques with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin.
Are we playing?
Hello, War Gamers. Let me bring on some VIPs. Bob Donnell's here. As always, Brian Gautke and JR is with us as well. I'm going to move us around a little bit here so I can bring on the person I touted about in the beginning, right? The CEO of Dub Video. Let me go ahead and bring Ruben onto the platform. Ruben, welcome. Switch spots with me. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Here in the War Games Group and later on the Sales Genius Podcast, we like to turn everything over to an expert so that we don't.
I'll look for one. I'll let you know if I find one.
Yeah. So I will interrupt because that's just who I am. And typically we try to hold questions later, but as questions do come up from the audience, I will pull them up on the screen so we can tackle them whenever you feel comfortable. But I'm grateful for you coming on, Ruben.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity here. What a pleasurable opening and super well produced editing, real-time editing to be specific. I've used Streamyard and I love the platform. I met with their founder a very long time ago, and I remember hearing their origin story until they were acquired for $30 million. Actually, that's my understanding. So shout out to Streamyard. Entrepreneurialism is real, and there's big payouts for us all in the risks that we're taking, because that's really what entrepreneurship is all about. It's about taking risk and about controlling our risk. So since it's Valentine's Day, I wanted to kind of open up with a romantic story for you guys, if that's okay. Is everyone okay with that?
Please.
All right. So I've been married for 15 years now. No idea how that's still possible, but 15 years now. And I remember when I was a newlywed, and we were in an area. My wife is a real estate agent still to this day, Keller Williams. And she was like, hey, we're going to go do some door knocking. And I said, what's door knocking? Because, I'm a tech guy and I've mostly been on computers building technology my whole life. I never at that point had any experience doing any sales or door knocking or cold calling, any of that. Right. So she said, yeah, we're just going to go. We had a small child, our son, who's 10 now. We decided to go a stroll in the neighborhood. And I said, wow, this is so nice. It's so innocent and it's so cool. And, she has such a cool energy, very approachable, very friendly. She can go to anyone and just get them to talk to her and just have a great conversation. She has that skill. So I was like, wow, this is such a cool experience for me where I can really get outside of my comfort zone, but also learn how to build a relationship within 30 seconds with a complete and total stranger. Isn't that what sales is about? building relationships with strangers, right? So anyways, we're on our walk, and there was a guy who was doing some gardening in his front yard, and there were some laborers there, and we approached him. We said, "Hey, hello, just wanted to introduce ourselves. We're new in the area. I'm a real estate agent." And here's what the guy says, okay? I'll take a deep breath. What he says is this. He says, "Hey, do me a favor, lady. Go grab that shovel right now, dig a hole in my front yard, and jump inside of it." And that's what he said to her. Wow. And I was floored. I was blown away, right? My heart was broken. The whole world around me, this innocent world where you can go and talk to people, it was completely shattered, right? And I as a martial artist, I was like, wow, I can react to this in one of two ways. Yes. I can do what the lion wants to do inside of me and end up incarcerated, or I could just take a deep breath, find myself, root myself, be aware of my emotions, be aware of my surroundings, and then control the situation like a gentleman. Now, thankfully, I chose the latter. I chose the second option.
Wow, that's impressive. I can't say that we would. Yeah.
But I was filled, to be very frank, I was filled with rage, and I was filled with anger. And I also was filled with ego, because, I was macho. I wanted to show off to my wife that, hey, I'm going to protect you. I'm never going to let someone speak to you like that. But I sort of kept it all within, and I just kind of breathed it out. So shout out to me for doing that. But the point of the story is that I made a decision in that very moment. I said, I looked to my wife days and days later. I looked to my wife later and I said, I will never, ever, ever let you go through something like that ever again in your entire life. You are never going to go to a perfect stranger with an innocent intention of just building a relationship. If someone is interested in working with you, they can. If they're not, that's all good. And get treated so disrespectfully like that, where you're basically treated less than a human. Right. And I made a vow to myself in that very moment. Now, I did not know how I was going to solve this problem. I had no clue, but I realized this simple fact. And this is the message that I have to everyone in this room. This very romantic, uplifting message that I have for you all. Salespeople, we as salespeople make the world go round. Without us, there is nothing. People will not have homeowners insurance and homes and vehicles and stuff for their kids and home alarm systems. None of that stuff would occur if it weren't for a guide, an advisor, a trusted source, a sales professional, just like you guys, that is going to find a demand and a supply and make the connection when the person does not have the ability to do that for themselves. Okay. I made a vow in that moment that I will empower salespeople for the rest of my life to build relationships, to be respected, to be treated with dignity and fairness, and in fact, be put on pedestals. Because my friends, that is where you guys belong. That's how much respect I have for you guys. So that is my uplifting Valentine's Day story. What did it culminate into? Well, dub.com is the platform that I built initially as myself, but now I have this fabulous team that's all over the world. And we've built the video sales solution to empower people to communicate with video, to build relationships, to nurture, to follow up, to share videos of your screen, from your webcam, from your phone, in the easiest way possible, so that someone can look at you right in the eyes and see the value that you provide, see the integrity, see the respect, see the intention and the mindfulness that you have in everything that you do, and to be able to make that parasocial relationship with you, to ultimately build a business relationship with you and basically buy from you. So I'd love to answer any questions. I'd love to share anything about the tech or anything about the origin story, or just solve some problems with you guys. But I'm here and I'm present.
So Ruben, questions from me, because I'm very selfish. I hold the show so I can ask these questions, right? So with video that's so increasingly dominant online, like when you search for somebody, you find YouTube videos and videos up, right, across all platforms, outranking people's actual websites and things like that. Can you share why video is so effective and how anybody that's watching here, a business can start incorporating video, right? Because I know
Yes.
you've experienced anywhere from 30 to 300% growth in sales for your clients. So to me, I'm looking saying, how does somebody start?
Okay, so let me start with a couple of sort of brainwashes that some of us at least, that we've suffered from. Okay. Brainwash number one is that there's such thing as a right brain person and a left brain person. Okay. We all have natural, inclinations towards certain areas and certain fields and certain things. But really, at the end of the day, we're all doing everything, right? That's the nature of the 17 tabs that you have open on your Chrome browser right now. We're managing a lot. You got QuickBooks, and that's math and left brain. And then you got, Canva or a slide or PowerPoint, and that's right brain. So the idea of having a right brain and a left brain person is really a misnomer. We're all doing it now together, right? The second misnomer, in my opinion, is that there's this idea of a visual learner and a non-visual learner. Okay. So sometimes you might hear say, well, I'm a visual learner. Can you put that on a slide, or can you draw that or something like this? People say that frequently, right? So in my opinion, this is not the case with human beings. We have all become, we all started out as visual, and we have all become even more visual because we're staring at devices and we're staring at experiences all around us, right? Historically, prehistoric, if you look at early mankind, the only way to survive was through visuals, by looking at your surroundings and by looking at your imminent threats and your shelter and your homestead and your family. That's the only way to respond, right? And now, in the modern era, we have devices everywhere, and everything that we look at is a screen. So tell me if anyone has not heard the acronym TLDR, which stands for too long didn't read. Okay. TLDR is the perfect way to describe when someone receives an email that they get from someone else that's one paragraph or two or three or maybe even 5 paragraphs, right? Too long didn't read. I didn't get to it. I got distracted. I tried. It didn't make sense to me. Was that exclamation point sarcasm, or was it excitement? Everything is just lost in translation, right? The fact of the matter is this: we are all visual learners, and there's a lot of scientific neurological data that shows that the way that we process visual information is 6 to 60,000 times faster when it's a visual as opposed to plain text. So all of these messages that we're trying to convey to people in our text messages and our emails and our LinkedIn messages, it's all just letters and words, and it doesn't really mean much. Was that a human being? Was that a bot? Is that person being authentic? Is that person being sarcastic? Well, I don't get it, right? That's the sort of general perception that you're going to get from people. And the way that we solve that, my friends, is with video. So our whole premise is that the way that it's easy to be able to talk just like this, or in real life to a human being, it should be that easy to record a video of your screen, of your face, of your webcam, so on and so forth. So I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to jump in with another question before I let anybody else ask anything, because that's how I roll. But so this is what I've said. Now, I know Brian does a bunch of videos with his training that he's doing on there. And one of his key metrics is the engagement on his posts from the videos in different places. So looking at it, I'm going to throw out there maybe a potential brainwash that I don't know, but creativity is key for video.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So what are the top secrets for the business owners that are on the screen here and those that are watching and listening on the replay to attract their ideal client through the engaging, right, and the innovative video content? What do you look at? Because video platform, I would say you probably know, guys, don't do this, do this, right? Can you give me a couple do's and don'ts so that I can do the don'ts and the do's? Yeah.
Well, I want to write a book, and the tentative title, the working title, is the BBQ Paradox, and I just came up with that title right now.
Ooh,
and what the BBQ Paradox is that when we go to a barbecue and we meet someone, we are our charming self, right? We share stories, we tell people about our world travels and what we've experienced and what we've learned, and we build relationships and we build rapport, and people like us, right? Unless we have too many beers. And unfortunately, a lot of people who are sort of stuck in this mindset of this sort of boxy mindset are not able to communicate and to vibe in the same way that they do at a barbecue than what they do in a video or on a Zoom call or in a presentation. They go to a different type of character, which is the tie is really tight. They're conservative. They don't want to take any risks. They're reading from the script. They're not smiling anymore. They're not sharing personal stories. All that they're doing is sticking to the script, and it's boxy as hell. And people don't really connect to that. You know, in my early days, before I got experience on video, I got some brutally honest feedback. Hey, you know, you have a different character when you're on video, Ruben. People used to say to me, you have this announcer voice. And then I realized just through repetition and practice that I needed to be the same person, right? I needed to be the same person that I am at a barbecue than what I am on a video, especially if it's for sales or business, because if someone does not get my essence and understand that I'm a fallible human being with stains on my jacket and I make mistakes and, you know, I have a family and kids, and, you know, if people don't see that connection in me, then they're not going to be able to really build a connection with me, you know, and build that sort of parasocial relationship with me to be able to trust me. I'm just going to look like kind of a talking avatar, you know? And the irony is that now we do have talking avatars that can read directly from a script, that can be super professional, you know, without any human stories, because the AI does not have human stories. It's got shared stories that it's taken, right? So my advice, just to kind of summarize, the best thing that I can share here is to bring your most authentic moments, your real human experiences to everything that you do when you communicate. Share your stories, because those stories are yours and no one else can take those stories from you. It's what builds the trust in people when they can see that you have the life experience to have gone through some problem and now have a solution, hopefully, that you can provide to your clients. But B, more importantly, is the vulnerability and the ability to be honest with someone, and to learn something the same way that we do at a barbecue. Sometimes if we're at a barbecue and we don't know something, we'll say, I didn't know that. That's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And, you know, we have our ears on, right? So that's my best advice. It's just to bring your authenticity, your human stories, and then just to be as valuable as you can.
No, perfect. And I think my 2 cents is that with all of the avatars and the fact that I can upload my voice and my picture and it's going to change everything, the need for the oops moments, right, with a video that you can continue on is, to me, going to be invaluable for actually proving to somebody that you're not this absolutely perfect thing that's there.
It's so true. It's so true, you know?
One of the things that I had noted looking through Dub was that it can help with leading a remote sales team, right? And so to me, I'm looking going, well, what about VAs, right? I know a couple of us have virtual assistants that go on there. How can I leverage the tool, right, to help with the either interviewing or we're managing a team, or I've got some person I need to do, as opposed to me taking out my phone and just doing a video and hoping that the text gets through. And I know with me personally, I got to use a different app to try to get a video someplace, because in other countries, iPhones aren't as readily available or accepted, things like that.
Yeah.
But how can we use Dub to bolster that relationship or get better results with a remote team?
I love this question. I have a question for you real quick. Should we talk about where are we on the sales funnel? Are we going to start with prospecting, or is this more sort of nurturing closing?
So I would start with prospecting.
Okay.
Where they're going to go. That would be ideal.
All right. So I just want to make sure, does everyone in this room like to make money when they sleep? Is that
yes.
We're all on the same page, right? Okay, great.
But he's not paying somebody to watch me sleep, right? It's not like that. Okay.
So here's my take on this. How many times have we said, God, I wish I could clone myself? I need like 7 versions of me to get all this work done. I've got this huge stack of papers. I need someone to do this for me, right? How many times have we said that? Guess what? Video is exactly that. Now we can effectively clone ourselves, because when we record a video of it, it was an asynchronous piece of content that we pre-recorded at a given time and space that we can then go and leverage for any given task at any given time by any different person, right? So the way that I love to share how video can be so valuable when it comes to prospecting is record a couple of videos of yourself. The best videos that you can record: a webcam video, your phone video, a screen video, maybe some slides, maybe a presentation, maybe some value that you have on your screen, a past success story, a testimonial, an educational piece, something about the industry, like your best stuff, right? Record maybe a 30-second video, 60-second max of that. And then go have an assistant from your team send that to 100 people a day. Personalized emails, one-to-one. Hello, Susie. Hello, John. I noticed X, Y, and Z. I wanted to see if you were interested in LMNOP, value. Check out this link that Joe created, that I created, right? That assistant can send those emails on your behalf, right? So by reusing that piece of video content, you can effectively clone yourself. And now what you're doing is you've done the work to create the content and to be the spokesperson, but now you have an assistant that's actually sending those emails, SMS, LinkedIn, whatever your channel is, doing that on a repeated basis. There's a lot of value in terms of sending those on a one-to-one basis as opposed to email campaigns, because, email deliverability, which is a whole nother topic, it's become a lot more challenging. So I'm always telling people, if it's a high value item, if you're selling something that's 4 digits and above, don't be afraid to send individual emails and to have an assistant do that. By putting an animated GIF thumbnail in the body of your email, and then that links to a video landing page with a call to action where someone can book a time in your calendar, or fill out a form, or even purchase something, that's going to be money in the bank. And quite frankly, it's going to be making money while you sleep.
No, I love that. So I know we're creeping up onto the 2:30. I know we start a little bit late, so that's not a bad deal. But I don't want to occupy more of your day, Ruben, because I love it. So I'm going to throw out, before I ask questions. Well, Brian, do you have a question? Because I know you've got a hard limit.
Yeah. No, I was fascinated. I'll go back and finish watching the replay later on. But I agree. When I used to put just pictures up versus video, makes a world of difference. Go look at my accounts when I started. No followers, no likes, because it was static pictures. Once I started working on video, it was a game changer. And a picture never goes viral, a video can. So I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. If a picture is 1,000 words, a video is $1 million.
Yes, agreed. JR, you've seen Ruben before, right?
Yeah, and in fact, you have 2 pieces of junk mail of mine in one of your your email, Ruben, that I just sent a couple hours ago. Cause I'm a procrastinator. I wanted to send it a week and a half ago. I do financing over 5 million, and with I've got a joint venture partner, and the JV guy really peed off somebody that he forgot about a Zoom, and she was totally ticked off. So he kicked it over to me. I sent her a 55-second Zoom, which you have a copy of. And the first thing was, my partner effed up. And the second part was, I really like your country in this part of the world. I used to represent many years ago IIT, India Institute of Technology, which is way up there. And they're about an hour away from each other. And I said this thing, and my voice changed, and she not only responded right away with a Zoom, I got emojis on this. She loved it. Oh. She said, "Oh, I love how you responded. Don't worry about it. Let's get something together." She's a consultant for big projects. Okay. Anyway, to be continued. But there's so many good things that in your Dove world, like the training, the one-on-one, it's ridiculously low priced considering the infinite amount of support you get from everybody up to the man in front of me who I totally respect, of a person of integrity. And I won't get into stories, but you've proven it to me personally many times. And the number thing is another thing where I know when you look at my stuff, if you look at the whole thing, where you in the world is Carmen Sandiego Ruben Dua looking at this, and it tells me. So closing a deal in my world is you got to, I want to be there within 10 minutes after you look at it.
Yeah.
And yours does it seamlessly. And I want to learn more, hint, hint, in your future things that you do for your clientele about embedding things in other things. So, because this reporting thing, folks, it's a whole separate hour and a half, 2 hours. This is one of the best bargains in the whole universe as far as how to close big deals, get into places you shouldn't be, that you're talking to the person directly saying, hey, what do you want to do? You want to email? You want to call me? You want to WhatsApp me so we can talk for free anywhere in the world? Oh, by the way, here's my Calendly in case if you want to do that, whatever. I'm sorry. I've exceeded my 30 seconds by quite a bit, and I'm even exceeding my usual self.
Ruben, can you tell?
I want my money back. I haven't. I think it sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Bob, any question as far as what's going on?
Yeah, Ruben, I love the product. I tried it about a year and a half ago, and I really saw some great things in it. My question to you as a CEO is, what problem do you think is the number one problem that you are solving with Dove?
For me, it really comes down to one thing, which is trust. We have been raised that the strangers are danger. And it's a problem in our society because, there are people out there who are strangers who are really great people. And that's us on this call. But technically, if we're going to go sell to a stranger, because you can only sell to your sphere of influence for so long,
Right.
My favorite way to sell is to not, a lot of people give this advice, well, let's go to our sphere of influence and have people within our circle buy our stuff. I'm actually the opposite. I like to go to complete strangers because I don't want to pull any favors, and I want to get actual people that don't know me and aren't afraid to hurt my feelings to actually give me their credit card, which is part of our origin story. Yeah. But, this idea that we need to build trust within 30 seconds, it is a big problem. Emails are getting deleted. Emails are LinkedIn is getting blocked. I mean, how many people actually respond to all those LinkedIn messages that we get nowadays? It's a lot. Oh, yeah. SMS. I used to not click the report junk button on SMS. I started doing it 2 weeks ago because I realized that nobody cares anymore. People are just sending me messages that are complete garbage. The links make no sense. It just looks scary. A lot of political stuff, a lot of stuff that's just polarizing. And now I took the gloves off and I said, you know what? I don't care anymore. Report junk, because I need this to stop. And anyone that's doing SMS marketing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. That doesn't mean that all of our messages are going to get dropped and blocked. It just means that we need to solve this trust hurdle as quickly as possible. And the way to do that is to, there's this other sort of brainwash that I love to explore. And I'm also very guilty of it, is that, sales, we've been indoctrinated. At some point we had a boss or multiple bosses that told us, the gold is in the follow-up. The gold is in the follow-up. Yes, the gold is in the follow-up. That is a fact. However, the time should not be spent on the follow-up. The time should be spent on the value. And once the value is conveyed, then trying to get someone to go check out and consume the value that's already been shared, that's where the magic is. A lot of people will follow up 100 times just to get someone to meet with them in person or on a Zoom or on a phone call. And what did they do for the last 90 days? I wanted to bump this to the top of your inbox. I wanted to call you. I wanted to leave you an SMS. And you're just making it worse. You're just digging your own hole. So I always say, solve the trust hurdle by providing value as quickly as possible in the beginning. Understand the person, the company, the problem that they're trying to solve, and then provide a solution with social proof and validation. And if you can do that up front, they're going to come chasing after you.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. That's kind of what I see as being the biggest thing that you guys can overcome quickly for people versus the long approach that it might take somebody else to do it 5 different ways over a 5-month period. But I was just wondering, as a CEO, what you saw. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And I love when I went to go message him in LinkedIn, it came back with a message that said, you should consider sending a dub video to get a better response. And I was like, oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. And
A CTA before both feet are on the ground. I love it.
Exactly.
Do you want to know the 2 best performing videos out there?
Sure, please.
Number 1, breakup videos. Breakup videos have and it's a great time to share this on Valentine's Day.
Right, of course.
Nothing touches people like a broken love story. You know, hey, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I created a presentation that could show you how our solution could be really viable for you, but it seems like you're not really interested. So I wanted to let you know that I don't want to bother you anymore. If you are interested, if you want to come back, that's totally fine. You know that I'm going to close your case now, or something like that. Those emails or those videos, they just get an unbelievable response because, and of course, when you are doing that, be legitimate about it. Don't follow up with them a week later. Just like, who's this guy? You know.
Right.
But
that's the Taylor Swift approach. She made $1 gazillion on that.
I broke up with you, made a song, and
Right.
That's why the current guy's got to win the Super Bowls, because he doesn't want to be the next song hit.
Exactly. You know,
whatever.
He doesn't want to be the blank space. But I was also going to say the second one is apology videos, right? So, and I'm not saying go do some gratuitous apology for nothing. Like, if you legitimately have something to apologize for, like, first of all, I wanted to apologize for the intrusion. I know you must get a lot of emails in your inbox and a lot of LinkedIn messages, but I just wanted to apologize. I do respect your time, but I have something really important to share with you, and then go into it. Apologizing for anything that occurred, if an email was not responded to, or if there was a customer service issue. People like that sort of vulnerability. It's humility, right? Humility creates a certain connection with people. It's the opposite of ego. Ego pushes people away. Humility brings people closer.
I like it. So I'm going to go and apologize for being the best trainer.
There you go.
That hasn't made enough effort to get a hold of you. Yes. So perfect. I love that. Thank you, Ruben, for being forthcoming. There's a link scrolling across the bottom if you want to get into activate your own dub. I would highly encourage you to do this. Just looking at the dashboard inside of dub, you can see there's so many things, as we've all used it, to say there's so much for you to get information back. And like, again, the most viable use is when it notifies you somebody watched it. Right. And so, and I'll throw out my own stats and stuff and say, most of the people, if 90% of all emails are read on a phone, and you're sending them an email with an embedded video in it, what's in their hand when they just watched your video? Right? Their phone is there, which means now if you happen to send off a text, or you made a phone call, right? I used to do this all the time because I had software within a CRM tool that's no longer around. But when it all of a sudden said customer opened their email, I was like, oh, boom, I dial it. And the customer would go, oh my God, I just read your email. And I'm like, really? And I called you? That's the universe telling us we need to have a conversation. Right? It's like, it wasn't the little tracking pixel. No, not that. It was the universe. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Let me give a little bit of sort of a technical explanation of how that works. But first, I'll start with a story, a very quick story. Before dub, pre-dub, I was an executive at an Inc. 5000 company, and I was running demand generation. And there was a sales department of about 200 people, and they were all sort of in various departments reporting to various bosses. And they were all struggling with this idea of how do we get bookings so that we can close more deals. And the product was anywhere from 4 to basically 6 digits. And they were really struggling because of competitive issues. It was an agency situation, and it was a slightly commoditized product. So a lot of competitors were sort of eating their lunch, especially the niche ones, the geographically niche ones. And, I remember I said, I know how to solve this problem. We need to do the value first, not the follow-up first. It's that same thing I was just discussing. So that was the version 1.0 of Dub. It was a Chrome extension, which we still have to this date. And the Chrome extension allowed us to send a video email out, but then also it would give us preliminary tracking, right? It would give us preliminary tracking on sending an email out, and then understanding if the person opened the email, if they clicked on the email. And then we started to realize that, okay, great, we're seeing people open these emails, we're seeing people click on these emails, but now we need to understand if they're actually watching the videos, because they just created a presentation, the same presentation that they were going to do in the Zoom meeting when they were going to meet with the person. They just front loaded it and they just put it in the email, right? They just said, here's a 3-minute presentation of showing you what I'm going to show you. And that was the light bulb moment. Let's put tracking for when someone opens the video page, when they watch the video, what percentage of the video do they watch? And then do they click on the call to action? That is the button below the video after they watch it. So now when you go into the system, when the salespeople went into the system, they could be like, here's someone that's interested, and here's someone that's not interested. And then this person didn't even see it. Why don't I go focus my time on the person that's interested or pseudo interested, and then keep providing value? So now what you can do is you can employ the Pareto principle. 80% of our income comes from 20% of our, in this case, leads. So if we can get rid of those 80% that are not interested or not looking for whatever reason, we can focus on that 20% and then start going deeper and deeper and deeper into our purest, best converting niche. And that's one of the reasons why activity reporting is so incredibly valuable. Everyone says data is everything. Data is going to help you. Well, this is data, and it's understanding what is the demand. Because if we understand the demand, we can understand how to provide the supply.
That's fantastic. Now, completely private, personal to me is that, do you integrate with other CRMs so that if somebody has a CRM, they can just click and now they can send a dub and get that in their regular one? Perfect. I
think we connect to hundreds of CRMs by now. All the major ones: Salesforce, HubSpot, the real estate specific ones, the sort of more inexpensive ones, a couple more enterprise ones. So yeah, I mean, throw some names at me and I'll tell you right off the bat, because I've been through the whole process with integration. So
yeah. So my primary customer base that I work with is automotive. So I look at it and I know that I just reviewed CRMs for a client, and one of them was like, we have video built in and it's all part of it. And I was like, okay, great. And then I have another one that has much better tech that's on the other side. And my thought is, let's talk enterprise level. Let's talk with them about incorporating Dub to say, let's get the integration, sell it to their existing client base and add it as a value add, so that nobody's changing systems, right? Because that's always where you lose it and go, I have 4 separate systems that are all supposed to be one CRM tool. So that's what I was looking at, like eLeads or from CDK. And then there's Dealer Socket. There's other ones that we look for.
I can build integrations with you. So if you can email me a couple of those links, I'll make sure that we don't have them already. And if we don't, I can prioritize that. We love doing it. We actually have someone on our team that's dedicated to that.
Fantastic.
So his name is Ty. Okay. So I'll activate him to get that done.
Great. I will get them in contact with you. So perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so everybody, thanks for joining us today. Again, link at the bottom. You can find Ruben in the show notes. His link to his LinkedIn is there, so you can reach out there. He loves spam messages in LinkedIn. If you send me a video. Yeah,
Send
if
me
you
a
get his
video.
cell phone, please send as many as you can. See if he marks you as bad, like the rest of us are doing all of a sudden. But no. So I want to say thank you, Ruben, taking time out of your day.
Thanks,
You gave
Ruben.
us more than you originally allotted for, so I appreciate you for that. And everybody
I love
else, get out there
Yeah.
and go sell something.
I wanted
With the
to
video.
close with,
Yeah.
Can I close with one idea?
Sure.
So the idea that I would close with is that there is something real out there that many humans suffer from, which is called video phobia. Okay. And video phobia is obviously the fear of doing videos, recording videos, and then sharing videos. This can be for social media. This can be for YouTube. This can be for video emails or LinkedIn or SMS using Dub. It could be for anything, right? And the reason why some of us suffer from video phobia is simply because of one reason, and one reason alone. We just simply don't have the practice doing it, right? No human being born was born with the natural ability to do video. That's not even possible. Video was invented 100+ years ago. That's not in our DNA. Some people have a little bit more interest in it, but most of the time it's just because they practiced. So before I started doing video, I actually was terrified of doing videos. I love building the technology for videos, but I didn't feel comfortable doing any type of social stuff. I was dormant on all channels, right, for years. And then someone told me, it's just that voice in your head that you have to unlock. I read this book called The 4 Agreements by Don Luis Miguel, and someone, there's these ideas that someone might tell you at some point, oh, you have a face for radio, or your voice doesn't sound good, or you don't know how to do this, and leave the video for the pros. And you get these stupid ideas in your head just because someone else is struggling with something and they want to make you feel bad, even though it's them that are feeling bad.
Right.
And once you get into that mindset of just practicing and just repetition, just record 100 videos on your phone. Just grab your phone right now. If you're watching this recording or if you're watching this live, just grab your phone and go right to the camera and come up with a prospect or a make-believe name and just say, this is what I do, this is what I'm passionate about, and this is what I can help you. And if you don't feel comfortable posting that, then just keep doing it and repeating and repeating and repeating. And before you know it, by the 100th time you've done it, you're going to be a pro on Facebook and YouTube, because those are the meccas of lead gen. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, those are the meccas of generating leads without having to spend money. You've heard that 100 times before. This is a way to make that real for yourself. So you are now officially liberated and cured from video phobia. We're in this together.
Yes, you've been dubtized. That's what we're going to tell you. All right.
I will knight you all. That's someone knighted me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ruben. Appreciate you. Go out and sell something.
Thanks, guys.